welcome to the Best Ever Podcast. I am your host, True Sav, in the building. Boy, it's still quarantine 2020, y'all. Man, y'all wanted it and y'all got it. It's like 2019 wasn't enough. You said 2020 gonna be lit. It is lit, boy. Inside the house. Again, reporting live from Oconda, California, the heart of the nonsense for this quarantine 2020, y'all. It's getting real out here, boy. And I hate to say it, but I was right. Boy, was I ever right. But we'll get back to me being right, because I'm right all the time. That's not the concern. How are we doing? It's been a while. Look, before you tell me, I know I'm messing up. I was supposed to put the pictures out last week. I put the episode out yesterday, like Wednesday. It's probably going to be Tuesday afternoon before I put this episode up. I get it. Understandably, things have been going on around here. So, obviously, we all know it's quarantine 2020, y'all. Quarantine and chill. And things have gone slightly awry. Again, out here in Oconda, it is full court pressure. They are serious about this curfew. They're serious about it. Like, if they catch you out after dark, they're pulling up on you. Where are you going? What are you doing? It's just absolute assault on the Constitution. Absolute assault. They yeah, that's the number one. That's the one thing that I was concerned with, was when they said that you need a piece of paper to be outside to prove that you are essential. That goes against everything that it says in the Constitution. The Constitution says that you are free to roam about, and that no government official or police officer can stop you to ask you what you're doing or where you're going. You have the right to travel. Keyword travel. You have the right to go where you want, do as you want, but they have circumvented that by saying, "Oh, it's a health crisis, so we're going to suspend that," which is always a dangerous game to play, because when you suspend it, who decides how long you're going to suspend it? Who decides what the new rules are? It's all a very tricky situation. With that being said, it was you non-essentials out here causing traffic, boy, because the traffic out here is non-existent. I had to go to the Costco in Richmond the other day, which would usually take about 30 minutes to get there. Today it took 5. Like, it is beyond eerie looking at the Bay Bridge and not seeing traffic backed up. Like, you can drive from Oakland to San Francisco and cross the Bay Bridge in no time. Granted, they have suspended the fast track system out here. Oh, I'm sorry. They're no longer accepting cash on the bridge. They're only accepting fast track. And if you don't have a fast track, they're just sending you the $4 or $5 bill to your house, to wherever your car is registered to. So it's making life easier, but again, this is some real Orwellian 1984 type-ish. I'm here to tell you. Monitored movements. Only certain people can go to work. It is, I would say that I'm concerned, but I'm not. Because again, this is history repeating itself. They've done this before. Maybe not here, but in another country, so... I was telling my coworkers, like, I would be surprised. Like, I wouldn't even be surprised. I would be shocked if this ended before Christmas. I'd be shocked. Like, absolutely. Because, once they got people to go inside with no resistance, and it'll be coming up on a month. Let's see. They started on the 15th. So, the end of April, when they said this is over, it'll be about a month and a half. I don't think they're going to stop there. And then now people are getting used to it. People are starting to Zoom each other, and still they're having these little Instagram DJ things, and people are getting comfortable with just being in the house all day. not doing anything, not really going out, not really seeing people face to face, which is, which again, anytime there's something like this is happening, they're conditioning you for something. The question is what? Like, why would they want it to be a society where you're scared of human interaction, of talking to another person, of coming within 6 feet of another person? Why would they want it so that you don't go outside between the hours of what, 10 and 6? I don't. And then just before I started to record today, I saw that the UN is proposing that they come up with a one world global currency, which is very interesting. If they say that to get this, well, they're saying that they have a vaccine, number one. And number two, they're saying that this global currency thing is on the rise. If they say to get this global currency, you got to get a shot or an implant, it's 1984, baby. They're on the way. They've won. Unless there's some super secret organization fighting to keep from this happening. Buddy, you might as well just pick what district you want to be from and volunteer as tribute for the Hunger Games, my guy. You're going to be out there with Katniss and Peeta and I can't think of the girl's name from District 6. I can't remember the black girl's name. Raven? Robin? Something. I can't recall. So yeah, man. Even at the grocery store owned by Amazon, things are starting to get strange. Like I said, it's weird when you put stuff on the shelf and the next day it's gone. Like everything. Like usually when you stock, you can backstock stuff. You can put stuff in the back. Be like, oh, okay, once it sells out, we'll put it out again. No. Once you put something out, like it's gone. You come back the next day, you replace it. We've even started counting how many people can come in the store now. That's a thing. So we literally have to stand at the door and count how many people come in. How many people come in and go out. There's the 6 feet in line thing is real. Like there's designated spots where you can stand so that you're not too close to somebody. I'm willing to bet my bottom dollar. You heard it here first. What's today? Today is April 7th. Next is going to be cash. They're going to say that the virus is transmitted through cash and that they're no longer accepting cash. Your Google Pays, your PayPals, your Venmos, your Zelles, that's going to be the new way that money is moved. They're going to say, if you have cash, bring it in and we'll credit your account or whatever, and we're going to create this new thing. I'm willing to bet my life on it. I don't know why. Something is just telling me that's what they're going to do. Because that's what I would do if I was trying to take over. But we all know I gave up trying to take over the world a long time ago. Let's see. What else are they doing? 6 feet. They've already limited the quantities of things that you can buy. No cash. People in the store. Oh, there's no more bringing your own bags into the store. So you can't bring your own bag. I know this because yesterday I went to Costco in Richmond, like I was saying. I got all the stuff I needed from Costco. But again, it was stand in line. Anytime you look like you're going to come within 6 feet of someone, like they immediately start backing up. Like, nope. It was probably the quickest Costco trip I've ever taken in my life. We walked in, got what we needed, went to check out, and there was one person in line in front of us. All the registers were open, which is the first time I've ever seen that. One person in front of us, checked out, bam, took off, we were gone. We come to the Whole Foods, which is down the street from us, and I get in line. Oh, Jesus. I'm trying to take my hair out. I'm sorry. We went to Sprouts. Jeez, I work at Whole Foods. We went to Sprouts to get this water that I think is delicious. And as I was walking up, because I have the 5-gallon drums, like I'm not going to get a gallon of water. As I'm walking up, the security guard stops me and is like, yeah, you can't bring that in the store. Like, number one, they turned the water off like 2 days ago. But you can't bring your own container in. Like, anything that you brought from home, you can't have. You would have to buy something here and fill it, but they don't even have the water for it. So good luck with that. So now you have to buy bottled water. You can't even really stockpile water because they've turned those off. So I'm just like, bro, I'm just waiting for the tanks to roll in and for them to turn the cell phones off and be like, look, this is the new deal. Like, this is how things are going to operate. You guys, we gave you enough time. You guys have. But I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just a guy. So, whew, I've got to take this hair out. My hair is so long and beautiful right now. It's about shoulder length. If I would press it, it'd be a good 12, 13 inches. I think. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, at least that's the lie I'm sticking to. So, but in other quarantine 2020 news, work has been popping, boy. Work has been popping for a variety of reasons. One of those reasons being, like I might have told you guys last time, they gave us this little punk ass, I think, $2-3 raise until the end of May. No, the end of this month. And they've also said that overtime is unlimited. Like there is no, because there used to be first of all, if you worked overtime, you were in trouble. But since this has happened, they've since lifted the overtime ban. But wait, before we even get to the overtime ban, some of my fellow coworkers tried to pull off a power move, and had they been able to pull it off, it might have been one for the record books. Unfortunately, they weren't. They weren't able to follow through with what they were trying to do. What they tried to do was form a union, but a little too late. Unfortunately, what they tried to do was they basically said, we're going to go on strike because this is a health risk. You're not paying us enough. We're going to go on strike. This probably would have worked. The only problem being you can find scabs to do the work for the same price, number one. Number two, not only can you find scabs to do it, but if you do try to strike right now, people aren't going to think too favorably of you. They're going to remember that. And third, the problem being, most of the people who are going to strike need that paycheck. So if you try to do that now and you get fired or they put you on leave or whatnot, you're now out of a paycheck. So you've now gone from essential to non-essential, which is the funniest guy. First of all, the essential, non-essential shit is hilarious, but we'll talk about that a little bit later because that's that is the funniest thing ever. But yeah, they tried to basically say they want their base pay to be, I think, like $30, and then they want overtime to be double time. So basically, their overtime would be $60 an hour. And I was like, you said you got nuts. Like, if that's what you're trying to do, like, you definitely have big fucking brass cojones. I'll give it to you. So let's see what happens. So the day was supposed to happen. Coming to work, and I'm looking because I was like, bro, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm across the picket line because I got to get this money. Like, I'm not even going to front with you. So sure enough, everybody brought their motherfucking ass to work. Because apparently this was supposed to be across the company. Everybody across the company said, we're going to strike. We're going to see if we can hold out. And we're going to see if we can get this paper. And it didn't work out the way they thought it was going to. But, hey, you get an A for effort. But it definitely has made things a little tense around the good old job place. Because, I mean, I don't understand why the managers would be upset about it. Like, it's not y'all money. Like, you're in as just as bad a situation as we are. You need the money just like we do. And hopefully this isn't as bad as they say it is and people get sick at work. But I mean, it's almost been a month if you haven't been sick yet. But again, we're not going to, oh God, what's the word? Conjecture? Yeah, conjecture. It's all conjecture at this point. Look at me using multiple syllable words. But I have been, so what is it? Oh, I'm sorry. Overtime for us is double time. So I've been there since 8 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. Every day. I take off Mondays sometimes. Like, I didn't take off Monday this week. I left early today just so I could record. Because if not, I would just work from probably 8 to 10 every day. And then I would try to sneak in an episode or something. But yeah, like, 8 to, so that's what? I can't count. Who's going to do some math for me? 8 to 10. You got to take a 45-minute break. Oh, shit. Am I going to embarrass myself and try to do some math real quick? What is that? Help me out. 8 to 10 is 12, 13, 14, minus an hour and a half. So, we'll say 12. 12 times 7 is 84. So, 84 hours a week. What's that, 160? Wait. Yeah, 160. So if I play my cards right, I'll be working 160 hours on a paycheck. Boy, they're not going to like me. They are not going to like me. And the person who really doesn't like me is Miss Trusav. She is not feeling this. She is super upset at the fact that I'm at work all day, every day, 7 days a week. But once she sees this paycheck, I think she might be cool with being at home by herself. But yeah, I'm just rocking. As much as I can work, I'm gonna work. I'm not really tripping on being tired or anything like that. Because again, like I said, I don't see this stopping until Christmas. So I'm going to try to stack everything that I can right now. So if things do continue like this, when it does finally end, we'll be in a way better financial situation than we are right now. Because maybe we can get the house that we always wanted in the Oakland Hills. You never know. I'm so sorry. Boy, I'm about to pass out. I'm not even fronting. I digress, though. While I was at work this week, so much has happened because I'm there for so long now. I'm there for the equivalent of 2 shifts a day. I get to see everyone, and so I get to talk to them and bullshit and whatnot. And I've noticed I've noticed some funny things. Cause I get to see everyone. What in the world? It sounds like they are having races in the hallways. Like, this is what happens. Quarantine 2020, people start to get stir crazy. They start doing wild shit. People are running through the buildings, having parties but just themselves. But so I'm in the break room on my lunch, hanging out. We're talking about old school songs. So, of course, who's the first person I bring up? My man, R. Kelly. So we're talking about 12 play, Trapped in the Closet, all that good stuff. And this girl speaks up and was like, "Ooh, I know you're not talking about R. Kelly. Something. He was messing with them little girls. Something. And then I was like, yo, I can separate R. Kelly the artist from R. Kelly the person. It's like, I may not necessarily agree or believe that happened. I was like, but you're not going to tell me I can't listen to I Believe I Can Fly. Like, you're just not going to tell me. I don't, at a certain point, you know what? I'm not even going to get into the legality of it. It's not my business. But little backstory on this young lady. This is the same young lady who told me that when the jacket died, that was her uncle, like blood uncle, like my mom's brother is the jacket, and I'm like, oh, like that's interesting because like I never heard you say anything about that until we talked about going to the mural that they had painted. What is it, 98th and Jack? As a matter of fact, I'll post a picture of that today, and I'll do it today. I'm not going to wait 3 weeks to post it. So first she said she was related to the jacket. I'm just like, oh, okay, whatever. Then, as we're talking about R. Kelly, she tries to defend her point by saying you can't, or excuse me, my argument was, although these women may have been underage or they say that they were, I don't, you know what, I don't even know the details of what happened. Whatever they said happened, okay. Even if it happens at some point, they were consenting. I don't feel like my man was holding anyone hostage. Like, at no point did anyone say they were being held hostage. They just said some freaky shit was going on. Something. I don't know. Sounds like a lover's quarrel. And she responds with, oh, well, as a victim of sexual abuse, like, oh, fuck, here we go. I was abused, and you don't know if you have the power to leave, and such and such and such and such. And I'm like, yeah, I don't really have a comeback for that one. Like, I'm not really gonna argue with your I was sexually abused story. Like, you won, you got me. All right, we want to talk about R. Kelly. And then I said, I was like, well, okay, well, since we're gonna talk about it, so are you saying that if someone does something criminal, that you can no longer associate with that person or company per se? And she was like, exactly. If you've done something wrong, then like people shouldn't listen to your music or buy whatever your product is. I was like, that's very interesting because you have an iPhone in your hand, don't you? And she's like, well, yeah, iPhones are the best. I'm like, that's very interesting because I could have swore I read an article that said iPhones were made in not only sweatshop conditions, but that the people who worked for the company that makes them in China were sleeping, I think it was 8 to a room. They were working 16, 17-hour shifts. In some cases, they were chained to the machines making iPhones. Not only that, but some of the people were trying to jump out of windows and commit suicide. And enough of them committed suicide that the factory workers decided, you know what, we're going to put nets underneath the windows. So when they jump out, they just land in the net so we can scoop them up and they can keep working. That Apple? And she got quiet for a second. And she said, well, that's different. I was like, oh, wait. You just said I can't listen to R. Kelly because of what allegedly happened between him and his concubine. But now I'm telling you that your phone was made in slave shop conditions, probably with child labor, probably in some cases forced labor, but that's okay. I guess we all have double standards or things that we're hypocritical about, but it's cool. So I was like, we'll just leave it at that. How about we just agree to disagree on this one? So she's like, okay, fine. So 5 minutes goes by, the conversation switches to our current situation. And they ask me why I don't wear gloves or a face mask at work. I said, oh, that's easy. I was like, first of all, it's because I'm covered by the blood of Jesus, so I don't need any of that. Yes, I said that. No, I wasn't serious. I say it to anyone who asks. And so, because I mean, Mrs. True Sav works, for a super secret organization that we can't disclose, but they get firsthand information from the CDC about how it's transmitted, proper hand washing techniques, what kind of mask, all of that type of stuff. So I'm in the know on this subject. And she tells me, no, that's not true. And I kind of pause like, oh, that's interesting. Like, well, where did you read that at? Oh, because I work for the mayor. Bitch, you just... So the Jack is your cousin. You were at R. Kelly's trial. Now you work for the mayor of Oakland. And I'm like, okay, well, what did they tell you? And she rattles off some bullshit that I'm sure she heard on Instagram or Facebook or something. I'm like, oh, word, really? I was like, that's interesting because my wife got her information from the CDC. So, well, speaking of my wife, that was just who rudely interrupted us, but I digress. So I told her, I was like, that's interesting because my wife got her information from the CDC. So I'm not saying that your boss is incorrect. I'm just saying that you're a fucking liar. Shut your ass up. But again, I digress. I forgot a very important lesson that I learned a long time ago. A wise man said you don't argue with fools because from a distance you can't tell who's who. So while I enjoyed my unpleasant conversation with the young lady, I just kind of cut it short at that. I was like, you know what? You win. I'm gonna leave you alone. And we had a very oh my god, we had a very pleasant conversation after that, and I just left it alone. So later on in the day, I run across my favorite coworker. For the purposes of this, we'll call her Nene. Nene is a wild motherfucker boy. She's like, she's one of those people that like says some wild shit, and you're just kind of like, yeah, right. Like, haha, she's playing, but then she has that look that says like, nah, she's not playing. Like, she's dead fucking serious. So she comes up to me, and we're talking. I'm putting stuff on the shelf. She's on her lunch, and she's like, yeah, I really fucking want to stab my ex-boyfriend. And I was like, wow, okay, thank you for sharing that. Why do you want to stab him? Oh, because he fucking cheated and he thinks it's sweet. Like, oh no. Like, once you cheat on me, we're enemies forever. And I'm gonna tell my friends, and my friends are gonna try to fuck you up. So I'm like, Nene, chill out. Like, what happened? Like, why are you telling me this story? She goes on to say a friend of hers saw him riding one of the scooters that we have. We have the electric scooters out here in Oconda. And she said her friend saw him riding one of the scooters and she tried to run him over. And I was like, what do you mean she tried to run him over? And she was like, she literally saw him, gassed it toward him. This fool fucking fell off of the scooter, like ran to the sidewalk and jumped up on the sidewalk. Because obviously there's cars parked on the side of the street. And so the girl saw him, flipped the bitch, came back, and then drove by and mugged him after she did it. And I was like, so it wasn't even you? Your homegirl tried to run this nigga over? Yes, boo, because we not playing. Me and my crew will fuck you up. I was like, this girl is out of control. And she's only like 17, 18. She's not even grown and crazy yet. I was like, And I was like, why are you tripping like this? Like, I don't understand. And she was like, I told this fool, like, not to play with me. Like, if you don't want to be with me, then just don't be. If you want to be with somebody else, just say you want to be with somebody else, and we can go from there. But don't be doing all this bullshit. And I'm like, all right, I guess. And then it made me think of A Thin Line Between Love and Hate with Martin and Lynn Whitfield, I want to say. Another underrated actress, Angela Bassett and Lynn Whitfield. Don't get it. Oh, excuse me. Regina King also, throw her in there. 3 underrated actresses. That's a list. The best Regina. Oh, I'm sorry. I digress. I'm thinking about something else. But I had seen it made me think of that movie when she said it because I had seen a meme that said, as an adult, I understood that Lynn Whitfield's character was the victim in A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Meaning that when I watched it as a younger, I was just like, oh, it's some dude messing with this crazy broad. But then it was like, no. She told him in the beginning, like, look, I've been hurt before. I just got out of a bad relationship. I'm just minding my business. If you don't really want to be with me, then say that. But don't say you want to be with me and that's not really true because I'm a little crazy. And he was like, nah, girl, I love you. I want to be with you. And he got what he asked for. And a lot of the guys on the post were saying, oh, well, she hit herself with the orange and she was stalking him and this and this. And I was like, yes, that is true. She did do all that crazy stuff in the end. But in the beginning, it started with a lie. It started with him saying he was in love with her and he wanted to be with her when he was really just trying to fuck. Which I'm sure if he'd have said something, she might have said no. She might have said yes. But she would have had the choice. That's what I always tell young dudes, especially that I work with them, like, oh, I'm trying to get with this girl, that girl, but I don't think she'll go for it. And I was like, bro, it's amazing what you can get away with when you tell the truth. And I say that because when you're telling the truth, you're giving someone an option. And when you're giving someone an option, that gives them the decision to decide. That gives them the decision to decide. That gives them the right to decide if they want to participate. Like if you just say, hey, I'm not really looking for a relationship, I'm just trying to hit something. Now they have a choice to say, okay, I'm with that. Okay, I'm not. And you can talk about it from there. But when you lie and you say, I want to be in a relationship, and then things start to spiral and it's like, you know what? I was just really trying to fuck. Now you've caused a situation because you're playing with people's feelings. And that's a very dangerous place to be. Come in and then you don't know. I've explained to some of the women that I work with. It's like, not everyone wants to get married. Not every woman wants to get married. Not every guy wants to get married. Not all women see a problem with just sleeping with random people. Not all guys do. Like, you can't apply your standard to other people. You can't say what is or is not acceptable for someone you don't know. That's why you got to ask. You got to give them the chance to say something like that. Now, with that being said, Nene is still crazy as fuck. Because she went on to say she had said something to the little boy's mama and told her she was going to smack her up and she was going to fucking put sugar in her gas tank and set the house on fire with her in it. And I was just like, you know, I think you're full of shit when you say this, but like that look in your eye, like you have that kind of, that glossed over look on your eyes sometimes where I'll be like, hey, this little motherfucker might be telling the truth. Like, she sounds crazy, but I don't know. I think she really might mean it this time. Like, I'm not going to be here. I'm not going to try her to figure it out. So, it was another interesting coworker. So remember the young lady I was talking about that had, hey, chill out. So the bad part about quarantine 2020 is the dogs are here all the time. So it's kind of hard to record with them in here because they want to walk around and make noise and bark at shit. So they're looking to me. Their mom just walked them a couple miles. So why don't you go lay down? Hey, go lay down. There you go. Good girl. Go lay down. No hugs, no kisses. Bye-bye. Yep. Keep going. There you go. Yep. Keep going. Go lay down. There you go. Good girl. Little badasses. Fuck. Worse than kids. You know, sit your little badass down. And you're going to hear them in a second because they're going to bolt for the door. Jesus Christ. But the lady that I had talked to about her finances and eating right, I saw something amazing happen the other day. I come into the little conference room where the other little managers be kicking it at, and she was doing the same thing to one of her friends that I had showed her. It was like, write down what your expenses are, like how much you spend on rent, clothes, food, all that type of stuff, and was showing her like, look, see how much money you spend in food, see how much money you spend in this. Like, if you saved half of this, do. And I was, a tear came to my eye, and I was just like, wow, look at this. We're paying it forward. Now you're going to tell someone else, but you know, oh, this is so beautiful. We're becoming financially independent and so much healthier. It's funny because I see her every day now. Because before she was kind of floating, but since quarantine 2020, she's there almost every day. So when I see her, she's not ordering DoorDash as much as she used to. Instead of the soda, you can see her with the water now, and it's I don't want to say fulfilling, but like it's nice to see like someone take heed to the things that you say and actually follow through. And I can see where it's making a drastic improvement. Because just when the times I've asked her, she said that I didn't even realize how much money I was spending on eating out. Like it was just a bill. It was just something that we did. And then when you think about it, not only how you feel, because if you're not getting any kind of exercise and you're eating like trash, like you're just gonna feel bad. And then now, because again, like I said, this was 2 months ago, 3 months ago. I had told her. So now she done lost a little weight, got some money in her pocket, got the little boys chasing her again. So I'm glad that she took heed to what I said. Like it's cool because I think even she realized like there's different motivation for different people. Some people they want you to shame them into shit. Like, oh, look at you. You fucking ate all the Oreos. You fat nigga. Like, get your big ass up and go to workout. Like, which boggles the mind. I didn't think anyone would want to be talked to like that. But for some people, that's what it is. Other people, you just got to kind of show and prove. Because I know they love to try to catch me slipping in the break room. I do cheat from time to time, I'm not going to lie. I will eat my little hummus with, like, pretzels. Pretzels have wheat in them. So they'll be like, oh, I thought you didn't eat wheat. Like, yeah. This one day out of the last 2 weeks, you caught me with some pretzels. My bad. Didn't you just eat that Jack Daniels pulled pork that was in the freezer section that you microwaved? Yeah, my G, we're not the same. But it's cool, though. I appreciate you trying to keep me honest. Like, that's what's up. Speaking of keeping people honest, like I said, so I know the last time we talked about the essentials and non-essentials and how it is causing a great divide in the population. And boy, is that shit still rocking. I make countless jokes about it. Like, again, like I said, it's funny. 3 months ago, you were an unskilled laborer who didn't deserve $15 an hour. Now you're a heroic essential laborer keeping the wheels of the machine going. And now people will walk up to me in the store and be like, oh, thank you so much for your sacrifice. Like, bitch, I'm making double time right now to sacrifice. Like, what are you talking about? I'm just trying to get paid. Like, what are you talking about? There's no brave sacrifice. Like, there's no risk of me dying to come in here to put this ground turkey on the shelf, buddy. But I mean, if that's the way you feel, like, God bless you. But it's been, what is it? It's been almost a month since the start of quarantine 2020, and all that high horse, pompous, holier than thou shit is out the window, buddy. There's still a few people that try to hold on to it, but for the most part, your everyday people are starting to really feel it. So I mean, if you got laid off, or even if you're making unemployment, which by the way, if you listen to the numbers, is at 33 million, somewhere around 33%, which is 10% higher than the Great Depression, which is astronomical. But now when people come into the store, they just kind of get their stuff. And again, it's the same things every time. People come in and ask for the same thing. Toilet paper, paper towels, sanitizer, disinfectant spray, eggs, milk. What's the other one? I mean, gloves and face masks. Like, don't even ask for that. Like, we don't got it. Don't ask. But like, we tell people the same thing every day. Because people come in at, oh, well, do you have toilet paper? Do you have this? I'm like, look, if it's past 12 o'clock, don't come in here and ask me for that. We don't got it. There's a reason why there's a line outside at 7 o'clock in the morning. you need toilet paper or whatever, you better get that ass up. And then my favorite one is when they say, oh, well, do you have some more in the back? Like, yeah, that's it. We decided to leave all of these shelves empty with all this stuff, knowing that all of these people want it, and we decided to leave some in the back. Yeah. How did you know? We've got a special toilet paper surplus in the back that we're just letting hang out there. No, you stupid fuck. It's gone. Like, what do you think? You think that we're hiding it just for you? We just kept a thing of disinfectant spray in the back for you? No. And then they look surprised. Like, oh, well, why would you not have that? I don't know. Maybe because it's a pandemic. Maybe because those are the items that everyone was looking for. You jackwagon? Like, I'm trying to tell you, boy, No Child Left Behind. I they make it easy to be a conspiracy theorist because there's just so many factors that have just fallen into play. This No Child Left Behind shit was the greatest move they ever made. It was, for those of you who don't know, No Child Left Behind it was a program that George W. Bush had implemented at the very beginning of his presidency. I want to say 2001, maybe 2002. In a nutshell, it implemented social graduation, which is there's no more holding people back a grade. Their logic being it's embarrassing to be a 18-year-old sophomore or 18-year-old junior, 19, whatever. So the theory was that they were going to socially graduate people. So if you're supposed to be a senior, or I'm sorry, if you're supposed to be a sophomore, then you're going to be a sophomore, regardless of if you passed or not. So they just move you to the next grade, and then there's supposed to be an exit exam that determines whether or not you get your diploma, but I mean, it's the basics. So what in turn has happened is, where before, if you didn't get good grades or you were a fuck up, you just got kicked out of high school and you didn't get a diploma. And the standard, like we talked about last time, 75 to 80% of the people in jail or prison don't have high school diplomas. The standard was a high school diploma. If you had a high school diploma, I, as the manager, when I hire you, I know you have at least the bare minimum of skills. You can read, you can write, you can count. You can somewhat get along with people. You have the minimum. Now, the high school diploma means absolutely nothing. Because as long as you went to school and you shut the fuck up and you didn't bother the teacher too much, she'll pass you, or he will pass you. So now all you really have to do is go to school and be quiet, and they'll pass you. So it's not really an indication of intelligence or anything. It's just a piece of paper. So you figure that's been going on for 20 years? So you figure you take it in both directions. It started in 2000. So if you were socially graduated in 2000 and now it's 2020, you're 40 years old. If you didn't care about education in high school, you're probably not going to go out and read too much or try to further your education. And then on the flip side, you got people who were just being born. So you've got a vast majority of the population from 0 to 40 with little to no education. That's a very scary thing. And like my man Bill Cooper said last time, they want people smart enough to operate the machines, but not smart enough to know why. And that's kind of what No Child Left Behind has left. It's it's 4 generations, because the generation's 10 years. So people from 0 to 40, which is the biggest voting demographic ever, have no real concept of critical thinking, of outside education. I mean, an irony abounds in this statement. I get it, because you're at the most technologically advanced point in human history, and people are dumber than they've ever been. Like, they believe anything that comes out of the TV because they've been conditioned to believe it. The TV is the truth. Everything that comes out of the box is true. Oh, Iraq has weapons of mass destruction. And they're like, oh, well, we couldn't find them. It was just a joke. But I digress. This isn't the conspiracy theory hotline. Let me stop before we get shut down. And the guys in black suits are like, hey there, buddy. Can you come outside real quick? Oh, which reminds me, happy birthday to me. I completely forgot. I know my birthday was last Wednesday. I was born on the worst day possible. To have a birthday and be funny. Hey, little lady, go lay down. I'm so sorry. These children will not sit down. But again, I was born on the worst day to be funny and have a birthday. I was born on April Fool's Day. So, yeah, I know. Cue the jokes. It was a rather uneventful birthday because I was at work. It was a Wednesday. So again, 8 to 10, get that money. And it trips people out when I tell them it's my birthday. They're like, well, what are you going to do? I was like, well, nothing. It's like, well, why not? It's your birthday. And I was like, well, I didn't really do anything. I just popped out of a pussy on the right side of an imaginary line. So, not really much to celebrate. I just, not my thing. Birthdays, holidays. I mean, we've gone over this countless times. But yeah, happy birthday to me. Now, what I was thinking about doing for my birthday, I was thinking about starting, a mobile salon, mobile pedicures and mobile, what is it? Pedicures or feet? Manicures or hands. There we go. Because some of them girls was looking rough. Boy, they didn't grew that dye job out. Them braids are starting to get old. Them fingernails done grew out, boy. And I was like, that wouldn't be that bad of an idea. You charge me an extra little $50, $60 for the mobile service. Pull up to the house. Get your little foot scrub bucket out. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. I mean, if after quarantine 2020, even if it's a month, even if, like they said, for some weird reason, all of a sudden, on the 5th, they just forget that all of this happened and they say, oh, okay, you're free to go back and live your life. If you haven't gained any sort of skills or you haven't come up with a plan on what you're going to do or you haven't developed a different bond with the people you live with, you're fucking up. I'm just going to tell you. I mean, we're savages, so we can talk to each other like this. But it's very disheartening. Because I was never really on social media until I decided to start talking to you guys. Because it just got boring after a while. Same people having the same arguments about the same shit over and over. But what I've started to notice now is that a lot of the memes are, and I'm going to get both of you, women and men, because both of y'all ain't shit for this. Men and women saying, oh, I'm tired of being in the house. Like, I got all my clothes out of the cleaners. Like, I'm ready to go out. I'm ready to go do this. Or these kids are getting on my goddamn nerves. Or I'm so bored. Like, I'm running out of shit to do. And if I see one more motherfucking person post about this goddamn Tiger Lady or Tiger King or whatever it's called, fuck them and them Tiger. Really, if you want to laugh, if you really want to laugh at some hillbilly shit, watch a documentary called The Wild and Wonderful West. Jesus, I fucked it up. The Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia. That's all I'm going to tell you. I'm not even going to tell you what it's about. It's brought to you by the people who made Jackass. Johnny Knoxville made this documentary. So again, I'm not even going to get into details. The Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia. It follows this family from West Virginia. What is it? And obviously their last name is White, and they do happen to be Caucasian. And it follows them for a couple of years, and their exploits and all the stuff they're doing and so on and so forth, way better than the little Tiger Lady. I'm here to tell you. But I digress. So everyone's talking about they don't have anywhere to go or nothing to wear or their kids are getting on their fucking nerves, and it's like, now is the perfect time. Like, because whatever they're setting us up for, they've got us in checkmate. We're vastly unprepared for whatever is coming down the chute. So, like I said last time, now is the time to get your plan in place. Now is the time to start talking to your kids, talking to your significant other, Like, where are we going from here? What are we going to do? If this does disappear and just go away into the ether, like, what is our plan moving forward? How can all of us be on one accord, one understanding? Like, this is the, I'd hate to say it, but this is probably the best thing that could have happened for a lot of people. Because now there is no, I'm going to go out to the bar, I'm going to go out to the club, I'm going to go gallivant across the world. Like, you're stuck in the house and you have to deal with your immediate family. Like, this is what it was back in the day. It's like people wonder why there's such a disconnect between old and young. Well, I shouldn't even say old and young, but just people in general. It's like because you guys don't want to talk to each other. You're stuck in a house and you can't find something to do, something to talk about. Like, it, no, again, don't get me wrong. I love Mrs. Trusev. I would do anything for her. I would die for this lady. But she gets on my motherfucking nerves, y'all. Don't tell her. But she gets on my last goddamn nerve. She's in the room right now. That's why I'm whispering. Hopefully she doesn't hear me. But, again, we've got to get past that. Especially now that things are looking rather bleak. Now would be the time to get your house in order. Like, you need to have, there needs to be set plans that need to be made that everyone needs to understand. Like, you may not agree with it, but you need to understand it and understand that this is the way it's going to go. This is how we're going to do things. I can't stress enough. Now is the time to learn a new skill, get your money up, all of that. Again, we're going to leave the Conspiracy Theory channel alone. I'm telling you, there's nothing to do, but just, I got to come up with another show because there's 3 good conspiracy theories that I heard about what's going on. But I don't want to do it here because they're going to come to my house and I'm going to be trapped under the Coliseum with the rest of the conspiracy theories. But don't tell anybody. And as weird as it is, I feel like I think my parents inadvertently set me up for the win here. Because a lot of this is the same food every day, not having no entertainment or nothing, just sitting here being bored. And it's like, this is my childhood. Like, this is what it was. Sitting at the house, eating the same boring, bland-ass food over and over again. Because that's what we did. You'd eat Monday's meal would be Tuesday's meal. Wednesday's meal would be Thursday's meal. Friday was pizza. Saturday was tacos. Sunday was some recycled shit. So it's weird. So now as an adult, like, well, no, it's really weird because we used to make chili. Before this happened, I finally learned how to make, like, chili beans or whatever kind of beans. And we would have beans for, like, a week. And that's just what we would do. We just, one day it might be quinoa. One day it might be rice. One day we might make some other kind of dish with beans. And then now that the situation has arise? I don't know, shit. Now that the situation is here, we haven't made beans once. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to make beans today. We're, beans, the magical fruit, and all that type of shit. But, again, it's neither here nor there. Get your plan together, get your family situated, and take this time to enjoy each other's company. Like, people talk about the rat race and how they don't have time to do the things that matter and so on and so forth. And yet here we are. And all people want to do is complain about that type of shit. But I'm off my high horse for the day. Let's talk about something funny. So, seeing as how I'm in charge of some stuff sometimes at work, there's certain things that I see throughout the day, especially being at this large-scale grocery store. And one of the funny things that I see are people stealing. People steal all the time, all day, every day. And usually it's the people that you would least suspect of stealing that steal. Like, the people who are dressed the nicest usually steal. Old people, they steal. Kids, obviously kids steal. Homeless people, like, that's a given. Like, that's what homeless people do. I was, because our policy at the grocery store owned by Amazon, it's not only is it a hands-off policy, but you can in no way try to stop someone from leaving. You can't physically stop them. Like, you can't get in their way. You can't grab them. You can't touch them. At best, you can try to slap the object, or excuse me, the items out of their hands. So, like, if they have something in their hand, like I don't know, a thing of steak or something, you can, like, try to paw the object and get the object back, but come on, that's not really going to work. Or you can try to grab the basket, but I mean, most of our security guards don't want that. They don't want no problems. So, well, this happened because I guess this happened before I got there. One of the security guards, apparently, there was a scuffle or something, and he got into it with the guy, and and the guy got shot. And he sued Amazon for 10, 15, 20 million, and he won. So now their security has a strict hands-off policy. And this, coupled with the fact that they're no longer prosecuting misdemeanors in Alameda County, has made theft even more brazen, because they know the police aren't going to come for a misdemeanor theft, especially if it's under $1,000. It's not a felony, so who cares? So people have gotten pretty bold. I caught him, but I didn't do anything. I couldn't do anything about it. This old guy that comes in, because again, you can't bring your own bags, but I mean, how hard is it to get a paper bag from the front? My man has his bag. He fills it up, because I mean, it's a grocery store owned by Amazon, so I mean, no one's really looking to accuse anyone of stealing. My man fills up his bag, walks around the store, There's 3 exits. 2 of the exits are behind the registers, and the 3rd exit is I'm sorry. 2 exits are behind the registers. A 3rd is off to the side, like off to the right, through like a little breezeway. So to get to the register, all you have to do is walk past, or get to the door, you have to do is walk past the register. So, I mean, my man does his shopping, goes through produce, walks around to the other side, slides through the aisles a little bit, and then just casually pushes his little cart at the door. And I'm outside on my break. Now, I saw him walk out. I saw him walk past the registers and just walk straight out. And he sees that I see him. And he's kind of hesitant because he doesn't know what I'm going to do. And I just tell him, I was like, bro, I can't stop you, bro. Like, there's nothing I can do to stop you. So, I mean, have a good one. And he's still kind of unsure because, I mean, he's, 67-year-old man, and I'm younger than him. I obviously can physically stop him. So he kind of shuffles out, and when he sees that I'm not going to chase him, he just gets kind of bold and walks off. And as he walks off, I walk up to him like, hey, like, why are you stealing stuff? And he gave me the realest answer ever. He was like, bro, I'm on a fixed income. I don't have money for groceries, and like the way shit is going, I just don't have the bread for it. So I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? And I was like, shit, I feel you, LG. Have a good one. What can you say? Now, that wasn't the funny story. The funny story is the homeless guy that came in. Did he come in 3 days in a row? No, he came in 2 days in a row. No, I'm busy. I come to work, I'm busy. Like I'm not just there to collect a check. I'm actually working, because while I do enjoy the free money that they're giving me, this is a kind of serious situation. As much as I don't believe it to be serious, like, people are going without stuff. Like, there is a lightweight panic. Like, you do feel somewhat responsible for the people here, because you got to make sure that people have food, especially the more vulnerable of the population being old people and young people. But again, we're here for the funny stuff. So my man comes in. I'm doing my due, because again, we're in downtown Oconda. So seeing homeless people come in and steal shit is just par for the course. Like it's just what happens. And we all know my ongoing struggle with the transient population here in Okanda. So my man comes in, and I saw him walking around with a container of watermelon. Like it's one of the small pre-cut ones. He's walking around, just popping it in his mouth. Just, doop, 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 doop. I'm really from Oakland, because I'm really from Oakland. He's just popping it in his mouth. Bow, bow, man. Whatever. Well, that's gone. So I'm back to doing my shelf. Next, I see him bend the corner, and he's got a package of Oreos. And my man is just walking around ever so delicately, just eating the Oreos, kicking it. So now I'm kind of like, damn, like, what is he? You know what? Not my business. I'm gonna keep putting myself away. Then I see him bend the corner with the chocolate milk with the Oreos. So I walked to the back, and I tell our receiver, like, "Boy, come out here and look at this." Like this nigga, he's just got the Oreos and chocolate milk. She's chilling. So we're standing in the back because you can see out to the floor from this door. So I'm like, look at this. And again, I'm so jealous of homeless people. They have got the best life out there. You get to live for free in one of the best states in the world. You just got to fight a little bit of cold. I don't know, bro. So we're watching him, and we're just having a good old time. So she decides to be funny, so she steps out of the back, and she was like, "Hey, them Oreos are good, huh, bro?" He goes, "Yup." So I'm like, he's crazy, but he's not that crazy. He knew what she was talking about when she was talking about them Oreos, so like, nigga, you ain't that crazy. But so we all had a good laugh. Whoop-de-whoop. By now, security and them are on him. The security guard sees him with the chocolate milk and the Oreos, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And the homeless dude's gonna go, "Oh, here we go with this bullshit." Like, what? Like, my guy, you're stealing. You can't call it bullshit when you're stealing. Like, come on, bro. Like, you're wild. So he leaves. Whatever. We thought it was over. No, it's not over. He comes back the next day. The next day is Saturday. Again, I'm there early morning shift. I get there as soon as the store opens. Bam. I'm doing my thing. Who do I see? I see my man. He didn't already got his mixed fruit for the day. He's standing in front of the little frozen aisle, just popping double stuffed Oreos, just pop, 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 pop. Then I'm like, "Oh, where's it at?" Bam! Here comes his chocolate milk. This time he got spicy though. He saw the Pop-Tarts and his eyes lit up. My man ripped open the Pop-Tarts, he's smacking the Pop-Tarts. This time for him, unfortunately, my boss was there. Like, the store boss was there. So he sees him, and, like, I tried to laugh it off, but, like, he didn't think it was funny. So I was like, "Oh, boy, you might go to jail today." So, but again, they're not prosecuting misdemeanors out here. So maybe 10 minutes goes by. PD shows up now. I'm going aisle to aisle with him because, I mean, my man's a transient. I don't want other customers to flip out because they see him. I'm like, just chill out. My man's doing his thing. So I see the police officer before he sees her because he's in an aisle. I'm standing at the end of the aisle and I'm looking. I see security and the officer coming. So I point at the direction he's at. They come to the aisle, and when they get to the end of the aisle, and she says, "Sir," he sees that as a cop. He tries to slide the thing of Oreos back up to the shelf, like, and he turns around and starts to walk away. So she, to her credit, she handles it very professionally. Asks the basic questions. You know what day it is. You know who the president is. Like, did you just come to get something to eat? Like, were you taking stuff for later? Like, of course, these are all questions built to entrap you into a wrong response, but I think she knew that she couldn't physically overpower him, so her best bet was to try to talk in a calm manner. It was, again, very professional on the part of Oakland PD. Very professional, for once. So we he leaves. They trespass him. If you come back, we're gonna arrest you, so on and so forth. So they leave, whatever, and calm ensues. Until 2 hours later when he came back. But they didn't let him in when he came back. He came back and they were like, nah, bro, you know the deal. Like, get your ass out of here. So it was well, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that. It's past my bedtime. I had to go to sleep for a little bit. But we got time for one more. So I was being stalked by a homeless guy. So I told you about my man Samuel. Like anytime we got extra food at the job, like I'll slide it to him. Cause I mean he lives in the car. He's my neighbor. He lives on the same street I do. Granted, it's in a car, but he lives on the same street I do. So whatever. I have respect for my fellow homeowners. And now he's picked up a roommate. So now there's another guy that sleeps in the car with him. Whatever, alternative lifestyle. Okay, whatever. I thought he had a girlfriend, but you know. So he had caught me one night and asked me if I had any cash on me. I was like, bro, it's 2020. I don't think anyone has cash on them anymore. So he says, sorry, group chat. So he says, damn, that's fucked up. See, this is why I don't text while I'm doing this because I lose my train of thought. So my man Samuel asked me if I had some cash, and I was like, nah, bro, I don't even got nothing. He's like, oh, like, I'll pay you back, this and this and this, like the same live motherfucker still. So I'm like, all right, bro, I tell you what. I don't have my wallet on me. Like, I never bring my wallet because I don't have cash, but I'll get my wallet, and when I come back from work, I'll shoot you a couple dollars. Because, I mean, I never have my wallet on me because everything is Google Pay. Or I can Zelle someone some money if I really need to. So I forgot about it. I didn't even think about it. I'm coming home on my lunch break, and this nigga is standing in front of my building. So I immediately turned around and walked right back to work and had to call my wife like, yo, homeless dude is outside of the building waiting on me. Like, I'm not coming home. Like, I'll be back a little later. So then the next day comes, and sure enough, this motherfucker's outside. He's like, oh, man, you forgot about me? I was like, bro, I tell you what. I go back upstairs. I go in the little swear jar. I shoot him $8 or $9. Oh, man, thanks. Yeah, I'm going to get you back tonight. Like, nigga, no, you're not. Just take my little $8 and fucking be about your day. So I give him the little money, and sure enough, I see him the next day, and the nigga that got high and forgot all about it. But it was expected. Then, that was on, and it was funny enough, it was that Friday where the homeless guy came the first time. The next day, it was Saturday, we have stuff that we donate that we were going to spoil out or whatever. So I was like, oh, okay. Like, let me grab a couple of these, like, hold my man down. So I get him, and I take him out there to him. It was like, I don't know, like a club sandwich or something. Like a chicken salad sandwich or something like that. So, like, I had 2 of those and, like, 2 kind of, like, wraps or something, like tuna sandwich wraps or something. So I must have gave them those, boy, and they must have been like, oh, God bless you, man. You're the man. This. It's just like, I don't know. Not them particularly, but even dude, because a lot of my coworkers are like, well, why didn't you stop dude that was eating Oreos and everything? And I was like, look, I don't really feel like that's stealing. Like, if you go into an electronics store and you steal some shit, or you go into a clothing store, you steal some shit, like, that's stealing. But, like, if you're going hungry and you take something to eat, I don't really have a problem with that. And I can't really agree that that's stealing. Because even in this weird book I read called The Bible, it said that as long as if you eat the food right there and, like, you leave, that's not really stealing. If you take it with you, then that's stealing. It's like, I'm not going to call the cops on somebody who's hungry. Like, that's just a bit much. Like, that's silly to me. And like you said, like my man's asking for money. Like, was he getting high? I don't know. I'm assuming he was, but I mean, I can't look down on somebody begging for money or asking for whatever they need. Like if you got to the point where you got to beg for it, then I'm not gonna look down from my high horse and be like, oh, how dare you beg me for money? Like, bro, it just rubs me the wrong way. But yeah, man, it's been a wild quarantine 2020, yo. But again, let's not waste this time doing silly shit, silly TikTok challenges and Instagram challenges. Like, let's take this time to, like I said, get our house in order, get your family in order. You know, talk to moms, talk to pops, talk to those family members that you're on the outs with, because you're gonna need each other more now than ever. I'm just guessing. Like I said, I don't really see this ending anytime soon. So now would be the time to get your stuff in order, learn you some skills, figure out some way to get a little side hustle going. I mean, you ain't got nothing but time. You got nothing else to do. So, like I promised last time, oh fuck, what was I supposed to post today? I just said I'll listen and I'll go back and post it. I forgot. It happened just that fast. Again, I was thinking. Oh, I did post those. I posted the logo things today. I just did it before we started because I just thought about it and I just got all the finals back and it's a hassle. But yeah, the artwork is something else. Again, if you know somebody or if you do artwork, hit me up. Best Day Ever podcast. No, Best Day Ever podcast at gmail.com with your art or your music or stuff. Again, I'm paying top dollar. I got you. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, True Sav Comedy, as usual. On the PlayStation Network, True Sav 52. I'm still out there handing out ass whoopings. I might play one game a night, but I'm still out there handing out ass whoopings. However you want it. I even have a YouTube page, True Sav. Yeah, I think I posted like maybe 3 or 4 videos. I haven't really had time because I just don't leave work. I just don't have time to leave work. You got to make this money. It's Resurrection Sunday next week, and we'll be closed. So I promise you, I will get a podcast out on time because I'm off for 2 days, not by choice, but because the government said we can't work on Resurrection Day. Whatever. So again, damn. Yeah, that's it. Till next time. If no one told you, I believe in you. The best things in life are going to happen to you and only you. I love all of y'all savages. Y'all are out here doing your thing. Please, savages, get your house in order. Make some plans. Tell your significant other, this is what we're going to do. You got to take charge. This is what savages do. You got to take the lead. You got to get the situation together. All right. Can't get yesterday back. Might not get tomorrow. That makes today the best day ever. I'm going to holler at y'all. Stay out of trouble, y'all. Peace.